In this class, we will learn what is a phrase, what is a word phrase, and the structure of the word phrase. Students, we learned what is a verb in detail in our previous classes. Now we will learn what is a phrase. Phrase is a group of words that express a concept. Phrase is used as a unit within a sentence. To understand this, let us see an example. What is this? A big blue bag. A big blue bag is a phrase. It is not expressing complete meaning. It is expressing a concept only. So we can call this a phrase. We can use this phrase as a unit within a sentence. Shall we? This is a big blue bag. This is a sentence. This sentence is giving complete meaning. In this sentence, a big blue bag is a phrase. So it is used as a single unit within a sentence. Students, have you understood what is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words that express a concept. Phrase is used as a single unit within a sentence. Let us see the picture. Who is there in the picture? You know him very well. He is Mr. Dhoni. I will write a sentence using this picture. Dhoni played IPL in Dubai. So, who played IPL in Dubai? Dhoni played IPL in Dubai. So, who did action here? Dhoni did action here. So, we call Dhoni subject of the sentence. So, what is subject? Subject means doer of the action. So, here who did the action? Dhoni did the action. So, Dhoni is the subject of the sentence. What is the other part of the sentence? Played IPL in Dubai is the other part of the sentence. What do we call this other part of the sentence? We call this predicate. Played IPL in Dubai is a predicate. What is predicate? Predicate is a part of the sentence that says something about the subject of that sentence. Here, played IPL in Dubai is saying something about the subject Dhoni. So, we call this part is a predicate. Students, how many parts will be there in the sentence? Two. What are the two parts? Subject and predicate. Observe the predicate. The first part of the predicate, the first word of the predicate, what is there? Played. Played is the first word of the predicate. What parts of speech does it belong to? Yes, you're right. It is a verb. That means predicate always starts with a verb or an action word. Now we will see another sentence. We are the part of the earth. Can you identify the subject and predicate in the sentence? Yes, you are right. We is the subject of the sentence. Are the part of the earth is the predicate of the sentence. Here, the predicate is started with an auxiliary verb are. In the previous sentence, the predicate started with an action word. But here the predicate is started with an auxiliary verb as a main verb. So students, how many parts are there in a sentence? Two. What are that? Subject and predicate. Is the predicate giving complete meaning? No, the predicate is not giving complete meaning, but the predicate is used as a single unit in the sentence. So, based on these 2 points, we can also call the predicate a phrase. So, we can call predicate a phrase because phrase does not give complete meaning, and a phrase can be used as a single unit in the sentence. So, we can call predicate a phrase. So, here are the part of the earth is a phrase. So, what is the important word in this phrase? Verb or is the important word. So, we can call this phrase a verb phrase. So, we can call predicate a verb phrase. Predicate is a verb phrase. Now, we will see the word phrase in detail. The first point, word phrase expresses an idea but cannot stand alone as a sentence. Second point, word phrase can also include modifiers, complements, and direct or indirect objects as complete word phrase. Word phrase follows the subject of the sentence and functions as the action in the sentence. To understand these 3 points, let us see an example. The other wrote a new book. So, in this sentence, what is the word phrase? Wrote a new book is a word phrase. How can you say this is a word phrase? So, wrote a new book is expressing an idea, but it cannot stand alone as a sentence. Wrote a new book is a word phrase. So, here the word phrase includes an object. So, what is the object in this word phrase? A new book is a object. Wrote a new book is a word phrase. It is following the subject, the author, and it is giving the action or it is giving the information about the action of the subject. So, based on these points, we can say wrote a new book is a word phrase. Students, have you understood what is a word phrase? Word phrase expresses an idea but cannot stand alone as a sentence. Word phrase can also include modifiers, complements, and direct or indirect objects as complete word phrase. Word phrase follows the subject of the sentence and functions as the action in the sentence. I think you might have understood the word phrase clearly. Now we will see word phrase structure. Word phrase with auxiliary verb. So this is the first type of word phrase structure. In this, we have two types. A. Word phrase with auxiliary verb as main verb. That means in the sentence, auxiliary verb functions as main verb. Let us see an example. We are the part of the earth. We are the part of the earth. So in this sentence, are the part of the earth is a verb phrase. Here the verb phrase is started with an auxiliary verb as a main verb. So here auxiliary verb is functioning as a main verb. So the verb phrase is started with an auxiliary verb. This is type A in the first type of verb phrase structure. Let us see the verb phrase structure with an auxiliary verb type B. Auxiliary verb as helping verb. That means the auxiliary verb is used as helping verb in the sentence. Example, he is eating an apple. So in this sentence, what is the verb phrase? Verb phrase is eat is eating an apple is the verb phrase. Is eating an apple is the verb phrase. Here, the auxiliary verb is used as a helping verb. So in this verb phrase, is the helping verb, eating is the main verb. So there are two types in the verb phrase with an auxiliary verb. First one, auxiliary verb as a main verb. Second one, auxiliary verb as helping verb. Let us see one more example of verb phrase with auxiliary verb as a helping verb. Example, we have been living here for hundreds of years. So in this sentence, have been living here for hundreds of years is a verb phrase. Here the verb phrase is started with two auxiliary verbs, have and been. So have and been are here the helping verbs. And the main verb is living is the main verb. So in this verb phrase, three verbs are there. Two auxiliary verbs and one main verb. So we can have more than one verb in a verb phrase. If we have more than one verb in a verb phrase, the main verb will be one verb and other verbs will be the auxiliary verbs or modal auxiliaries. Now we will see the verb phrase structure, verb phrase with modal auxiliary verb. This is second type of verb phrase structure. You know the modal auxiliaries: can, could, may, might, must, will, would, shall, should, ought to. These are all modal auxiliaries. We also know that modal auxiliaries cannot come alone or cannot come independently. They will come with the base form of the main verb. Let us see an example. You must attend the English class. In this sentence, must attend the English class is the verb phrase. The verb phrase is started with the modal auxiliary must and followed by the base form of main verb attend. So attend is a main verb. So in this verb phrase, two verbs are there. One is modal auxiliary, another one is main verb. This is the second type of verb phrase structure. Let us see the last type of verb phrase structure. Verb phrase with an action word or main verb. Example, I play chess. So, what is the verb phrase in the sentence? Play chess is the verb phrase. The verb phrase is started with an action word play. So, play is a main verb. So, in this type, the verb phrase is started with main verb. See the another example of verb phrase structure. Verb phrase with an action word or main verb. Let us see the picture. Using this picture, I'm writing a sentence. He bought vegetables. So, what is the verb phrase in the sentence? Bought vegetables is the verb phrase in the sentence. So, this verb phrase is started with an action word bought. So, this is the main verb in the verb phrase. Students, have you understood the structure of the verb phrase? So, we have three types of verb phrase structures. First one, verb phrase with an auxiliary verb. In these two varieties are there. Verb phrase with an auxiliary verb as main verb, verb phrase with an auxiliary verb as helping verb. Second type, verb phrase with modal auxiliary verbs. Third type, verb phrase with action word or main verb. Students, we have learned what is a phrase and the rules of the verb phrase and the structure of the verb phrase in detail in the session. I think you might have understood all the concepts very clearly. Thank you very much. We will meet again in the next session. Thank you.